What's good, Tamers? This is Akaro from Lockout Games, bringing you a deck profile for a Armor Purge style deck that I've been running that I've been recently calling Golden Digizoids. Now, this one has been a lot of fun, and let's go ahead and jump into it. So starting off for the Digitamas, I'm keeping it kind of simple, and I haven't exactly figured out what ones I want to run specifically just yet, but we're going with a Demi Veemon from this starter deck. Getting 8 cards in your hand isn't too hard in this style of deck, and the plus 1000 can really help keep some of those 6000 and 7000 DP Digimon alive for a little bit longer during your turn so that you don't have to actually use Armor Purge. So with the level 2s out of the way, let's go into the level 3s. Starting off the level 3s, I run 4 of the Armadillomon from BT8. This card is amazing for a searcher as it's able to get 99% of the level 4s that are in the deck because they are yellow and some other color. Then for more searching power, I run 2 of the starter deck Veemon. This is going to be able to get cards that have free in the traits, which most of the level 3s and most of the level 4s are that as well. So you're able to search through the deck pretty well and be pretty consistent with what you need. Then for straight Digivolving or putting them on the board, I have 4 of the Armadillomon from BT1. I really like this card. It's 2 cost to play from your hand, 4000 DP, so it's not exactly the weakest. 1 to Digivolve, which isn't the worst, as this deck actually gets a lot of memory, having multiple tamers that get different memory from the different color cards that you have, and you'll see this deck is mostly yellow, green, and blue, so we're running tamers that synchronize with that very well. And then I run 2 of the Classic Collection Veemon just to get a little bit of extra memory because your Digimon are going to be on the field for a while and your opponent has to choose to either try and go after them and you armor purging or just going for your security. They are going to be unsuspending as well as having armor texture swap. They're going to be able to unsuspend on your turn. So just getting a little bit of extra memory, making things a little bit cheaper. So with the level 3s out of the way, let's take a look at our level 4s. So looking at our level 4s, we got Magnamon at 4 of. I really do like this card. It's able to play offense and defense and is really hard to get off the board because the later the game goes, the more powerful it gets. And sometimes your opponent's just going to have to just leave it be as it's going to have upwards of 13,000 DP and not really able to be dealt with. Even if it's trying to be deleted, it can armor purge and the Digimon is still strong underneath that. So it is just a great card to have both for being offensive and taking out security or other Digimon, or just being defensive and letting you set up your board in the back and eventually getting up to 6 memory per turn based off of the tamers that we have that I'll be showing you later. Then we have 3 of Rapidmon. I only run 3. It is a little expensive to Digivolve into in this deck specifically because I don't run any Terriermons, but it has amazing board clearing abilities. You're running a lot of tamers in this deck, so being able to suspend a whole bunch of your opponent's Digimon and then just minus 5,000 DP on them, mixed in with either attacking or just hitting them with a plasma shot afterwards, really clears out boards. Very more the offensive style for this deck. And then we have 4 of Digmon. So because we run a lot of Armadillomons, it's almost always going to cost 2 to Digivolve into this. And it goes well with the Rapidmon being able to do minus 3,000 DP to any of your opponent's suspended Digimon, as well as just being a 5,000 attacker that normally we can get boosted up a little bit to 6,000 with a Digitama if we have 8 cards in our hand. But all in all, it's an Armor Purge Digimon. It has a very relevant effect when it swings in, and you're able to Digivolve into it pretty cheap because there's a lot of Armadillomons in this deck. And then lastly, to round out the level 4s, we have a Lydramon. This is just more of a little bit of a tech card, still 5,000 DP, Digivolving for 2 on top of Veemons, which we have a lot of in this deck. But it's able to suspend one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon, so you're able to kind of specifically target something that might be a little annoying, like a Chumon or something like that, or anything that is detrimental to you for reducing Digivolution costs or stuff like that. So I like it at 1 of right now. And this has been working pretty well. So with the level 4s all seen, let's take a look at the level 5s. Alright, for our level 5s, it's going to be a pretty short list. We're running 4 Chimeramon. This Digimon, I feel, is great in this deck. Being able to DNA Digivolve off of 2 level 4s is pretty powerful, especially if they survive after swinging in. But also, it's almost always going to have 4 colors, so it's going to be swinging for 12k minimum each time. And when you Digivolve into it, it's able to take out a lot of other lower level DP Digimon, so I like it for helping to clear the board, especially playing Plasma Shot after DNA Digivolving into it, or just swinging in for 12k and making the opponent deal with it. If it does get taken down, that's just a lot more Armor Purge Digimon that are now in the trash that Magnemon's just going to feed off of, and a very fun Digimon to play, really good. There's a reason why it's an SR. Alright, that's all my level 5s. Let's take a look at the Tamers. Alright, let's take a look at our Tamers. So we're starting off with Analog Youth at 2 of. I like this card because it's going to fill your trash with Armor Purge Digimon, which Magnemon really benefits from, as well as looking through your deck and picking that one Digimon that you need. Because we play a lot of Digimon of the same name, we're going to be able to pull pretty much whatever we need every time we get that, so it's really efficient in searching, which is what this deck is really good at. Speaking of searching, we have Davis Motomiya at 2 of. This card is amazing because it's going to give you a blue Digimon and a green Digimon, so you're able to pull a Magnemon and a Rapidmon with it, and you're going to also be getting memory reset to 3 every turn. Once again, highly efficient. This card is just amazing in multicolor hybrid style decks. Then we have 2 Davis and 2 Ken. This is almost always going to proc, giving you 2 memory, especially if you have a Chimeramon on the field that has all 4 colors. Multiple times playing this deck with a Davis and maybe a Davis and Ken on the field, I've gone up to 5 memory each turn, and sometimes up to 7 if I have both on the field. So really good. Then for a little bit of removal, we do have 4 Cody Hitas. This is to also help play some of the yellow options if for whatever reason we don't have an Armored Digimon on the field, which is going to be very rare. But he is able to minus 2000 DP to a Digimon when you have a 2 or more colored Digimon swinging in, which is 99% of the Digimon that we have in this deck. So it helps with a little bit of the removal and just really feeds that synergy to Plasma Shot and getting rid of some of the bigger Digimon. So that's it for our Tamers. Let's take a look at the options. And last up for the options, we have 1 Ice Wall. Card is amazing, and there's a reason why it's limited. Slows your opponent down, and if it's hit in security, you're able to normally pass the turn over or at least really detriment what they're able to do. I love it. Wish I could play a little bit more, but it's better for the game that it's at 1. Then we have 2 Hammer Sparks to help extend our turns out a little bit more. This really helps, especially if we only have a Davis on the field to memory reset and we need to go into a Rapidmon without passing the turn. This gets us up to that 4 memory so that we can make that play and still keep our turn. Then for a little bit more extra memory and search power, we have 2 yellow memory boosts. This one I might switch out as the search ability in this deck is really strong already. The 2 memory is nice, but I think there might be some more offensive cards that we could run to help get rid of some of the high DP Digimon that this deck might struggle with a little bit, especially some of the level 6s and 7s that are out there. Then for removal, we have 3 Plasma Shots. This card is amazing. It procs off and does a lot of minus DP in this deck just because everything is pretty much Armor Purge, so you're easily able to hit for 7, 8, sometimes even 9,000 DP just depending on what your trash looks like. And then lastly, for a tech card, we have Armor Texture. This card fits into the deck perfectly. It's made for armor purging Digimon. It can put your opponent on the back foot, as they always have to expect that if you have the memory, most of the time being 2, you're going to be able to go into a Armor Purge Digimon and swing again for a game. This has won several games for me, and it is a really great card. Also just flooding the board when it's hit out of security and makes you able to put your opponent on the back foot pretty easily. So here's an overview for the deck, and I just wanted to go through some strengths and weaknesses that I've noticed from piloting it. First, your Digimon are very persistent. They're able to stay on the field a lot longer, as your opponent essentially has to deal with them twice, whether it be attacking into them or using options to get rid of them. Then you're able to search for almost all the Digimon you need, as all of your level 4s are double colored, and either the Armadillomon or the Vmon are going to be able to search for one or both. Then there's a memory gain that you're going to get from your tamers, and because it's from your tamers, stuff like Chumon is not going to be able to stop it, but if you have multiple Davises and Kens as well as a memory resetter on the field, you're going to be able to get up to 5 to 7 memory per turn, especially when you have things like a Chimeramon or a Magnamon and a Rapidmon on the field at the same time. Now going over some of the weaknesses, it does have a limited form of removal, and what I mean by this is the only effects that it has are minus DP. So it's not able to just straight up remove a big Digimon off of the field. It's going to have to work its DP down and figure out how to deal with it that way. And if the Digimon is invulnerable to that, then you're not really going to be able to remove it. In the same vein, minus DP effects really hurt this deck as they do transfer over even if you Armor Purge, so if something is able to do minus 6, 7, or 8,000 DP, it is going to be able to take out whatever Digimon that you have on the field normally on your opponent's turn. And finally, if your opponent is playing any Digimon or options that get rid of Digivolution sources, that's really going to hurt Armor Purge, as they're not going to be able to go back into your Vmon or your Armadillomons and keep them safe after they're destroyed in battle. Well, Tamers, that's the deck that I like to call Golden Digitoids, and if you have any questions about the deck or cards that you would either add or remove to make it better, please leave them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel, and I enjoy making these for you and hope to get more in the future. With that being said, let's get that gate closed.